All right, y'all. Welcome into LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Ryan, here with my brother Matthew, and we have endured the most boring free agency deadline opening, whatever the hell you want to call it. Day one sucked. There was really nothing going on. There was some intrigue, but the reality is we're going into day two with very few questions answered, not only for the Lakers but for the NBA. Which, if you want to spin it, it could be fun having this drawn out for longer. But I do think this new CBA is really showing itself as like the problem it will be. And we'll get into that more. But Matt, after day one of some free agent stuff happening, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was really just the most boring free agency day one I can remember in a long time, It's honestly, free agency is one of my favorite parts of any sport I like, and I like pretty much all sports. It's so exciting. And I really hate this tampering stuff as a fan because we could care less. We just want to see 3 p.m. strikes, five different signings. That's what we want to see. So it wasn't exciting, but particularly for the Lakers, literally nothing happened. And targets off the board. It feels like every single year, us as Laker fans, and myself included, get drawn into this fantasy of this guy. It's the Lakers. Maybe he'll take a pay cut. He'll take the MLE to play for us, and then they end up getting 10 million, 20 million, whatever. So Jonas was one of those guys. Talking about the MLE, he got like the 5 mil MLE. He got what it was 3 years, 10 mil each, right?
Yeah,
So
three
three
for
years,
30.
30 million.
Yeah,
To the freaking Wizards, which I what was their goal with that? I don't understand.
yeah,
Get some solid play from center. How is that going to move the franchise? Derek Jones Jr. was off the board to the Clippers. That one's a funny one. I saw Los Angeles, my heart stopped, and then
yeah. Me too.
I had Clippers. It was really crazy. Dallas picked up a wing, but other than that, nothing happened. The Clippers and Paul George are no longer together. The only name really that the Lakers fans, everything's about Klay Thompson right now. And me personally, I don't feel confident with the chance of signing him
Yep.
because again, like I just said, we think these guys want to play for us for little, but why would you sacrifice millions to play for the Lakers? To us, the Lakers are so special. My favorite. I will never not love the Lakers, but to a guy, even if they're from LA, they're not gonna turn down 5 million to play for the Lakers. They don't care about us as fans that much. So it's tough. Targets off the board. Didn't add anyone. Nothing's looking great. So I just look forward to day two. Realistically, is there anyone? Well, I mean, because both of us said Jonas Drummond. So where do you shift your center? Is there a center you have your eyes on now? Our
Yeah.
two biggest targets are gone.
Well, I yes, but also I think you talking about Drummond and Valanciunas being moved. It is interesting that we were talking about not wanting to spend any like exceptions because this we would have either mid level full or the tax where um having like not wanting to spend any of that on a center. But now we are in a position where we have to do something with an asset to get a center back for like for a center that would move a needle even in a backup role. There are a few names. Each of them is kind of more unrealistic as it goes. So I'll start talking about with centers. Like I'll answer your question, but kind of expand it to the general Laker trade rumor stuff. So one of the biggest, one of the most prevalent rumors throughout this offseason and was kind of reiterated today by fake source Anthony Irwin is that the Lakers are still engaged with the Blazers about Jeremy Grant, which is a trade we can talk about. But I bring that up to say I think Robert Williams, as a part of that trade, is one of the most clear ways we can get a center back. And he is his own issue. He has a bunch of his own issues, basketball performance wise, because he's incredibly not versatile on offense. He's a lob threat only. Like I don't think I saw him dribble for the Celtics. But he's an elite rim protecting, crazy athletic guy, and he's going to miss about 40 games a year, if not the entire season. So it's tough. But price range works out. And then there's Walker Kessler, who is a kind of a dubious fit. Frankly, all of these guys I'm about to say do not fit with AD at all, which is good for me because I don't want AD to play the four ever again. But just for the use of assets for a guy like again that we've been saying is going to play like 15 minutes a game is tough. Walker Kessler's on a rookie contract. They seem willing and kind of wanting to move off of him. The Lakers the Jazz own a Laker pick that is top 4 protected, which is very valuable because most teams in the NBA think the Lakers are going to be bad in 2027 or 2029. One of those two. I forget which pick they have. But the Lakers have the ability to take away the protections, which is essentially kind of just giving them a full first round pick still. And they have a bunch of seconds, and Kessler is only making $2 million a year, so you can give him like Jalen Hood-Schifino. I don't know. So like that's actually a very straightforward. If we give them like a first round pick and then take away the protection and just match salary with Schifino, like that can happen very quickly, and he would be a perfect backup center. And then expand again to more than just center trades. Cam Johnson's another guy that's been heavily involved, heavily kind of rumored, which kind of makes me think it won't happen. But the Nets and Knicks are in a trade right now, and I say in a trade currently because it's not official. The Mikal Bridges trade that was reported like a week ago at this point is not official because the Knicks are trying to move off of salary in the form of, well, in the form of anybody with making money. But Mitchell Robinson is now expendable. And that's another guy that I think would work perfectly in a backup center role for this team. And the Lakers can kind of weasel their way in and be like, oh, we'll take him off your hands, throw you a second round pick or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of options. It's just they're all trading stuff. Like the only center that I would take on a minimum right now is Goga Bitadze, which is like if they sign him tomorrow, I would be mildly pleased, which is the most I'll get from any backup center because he's serviceable. But yeah, it's looking like straight up we have to trade for a center to get someone that's worth playing on this team. And I'm not super hyped on that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because to me, and it didn't really change from day one. I kind of felt this way a day ago. Is the trade's gonna have to define this team in order to get to a place where I think okay, we are a legit contender. A trade always had to happen, but I think even more now that we've seen how day one unfolded in front of our eyes. You know, the D'Lo situation. There needs to be a successful trade that can upgrade this team. A nice signing with the 5 mil MLE, or LeBron takes a pay cut. A nice signing with the regular MLE. I don't think that puts us over the top. In fact, there's no way that puts us over the top. It's a good trade, and I think if you can upgrade a starter and then get a serviceable backup center, like you mentioned, a couple combo trades, I think that would be great, and that's really where this team's gonna have to go. Um, I don't think have we talked about Max Christie yet?
No, we
Excited
haven't.
about him. He's gonna need to play. We're looking at when you have money tied up in the stars and even contracts like Rue and stuff. When you're limited, you're gonna need young guys to perform. Him and Connect, I'm actually really high on both of them. If they can, take a step up and be good, it's absolutely huge for them. Um, so a lot of names we've mentioned have been signed. I'm not gonna lay them out, but is there any one of those names, Chris Paul, whatever, that you are like, dang, either you thought the Lakers were gonna get him, or you would have liked to have him? Like, who's the number one guy you think we missed out on?
Missing out. I don't think they've done that yet. Jonas will feel like a miss out, quote unquote, just because I think Clay's not signing here. In which case, the Lakers would have had to throw MLE money at somebody, so that way LeBron just takes the pay cut. But I would have not. I would have very much disliked using the full MLE on a center that would push LeBron to the four, and he's not the only. Anyway, we've talked about that a lot. So far, in terms of minimum guys, actually, I don't think any player signed for the minimum today, which is interesting. Usually that's what the Lakers do. Um, I don't think we missed on anybody. Kelly Oubre actually just signed like right before signed with the Sixers again, which is it's a nice look for him. But it does seem that actually not even does seem, they had pipe dreams about Paul George and like another guy. Paul George for sure going to be a Sixer, but they're like, oh, maybe KCP, maybe Klay Thompson. They've now used I think their 8 mil room exception on Kelly Oubre. I'm pretty sure that's what it's end up going to be. And they've used $5 million of the projected 14 to 15 X leftover on Andre Drummond. So it's going to be Paul George, and that's it. Klay Thompson, I bring this Sixers up specifically because Klay Thompson's like allegedly considering them, but it doesn't seem they have the money for him at this point. So I don't think we have functionally missed on anybody. Free agency wasn't even going to be something for us to consider until the LeBron pay cut thing. So right now, my mind is fully on trades still, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Last thing I'll ask is, if there even is a guy who's your number one target to spend that? Let's say we do spend the 13 mil MLE. Is there anyone you think is worth spending on? Because honestly, I agree. I wouldn't have spent it on Jonas. Obviously, wouldn't have spent it on Drummond. So, is there anyone you'd spend it on?
Well, Clay, obviously, and beyond that, well, like I would break it up. Like I would bring Nick Batum in, I think, because he wants more than the minimum. I would give him like $4 million. He was very solid last year. I would like try to break it up like that. LeBron's not taking a pay cut for that, so it's Clay or bust on that front. Or another wrinkle is that you could use the full 12.9 mil or trade exceptions as like a, oh, excuse me, I said trade exceptions, I give it away. The taxpayer MLE, they could use that as a trade exception, so they could trade for someone that's making 12.9 or less without having to give any money back. So that's something to consider too. So that could be like a Walker Kessler thing or a Robert Williams thing. Even like we can do something like that. Actually, didn't even consider maybe that. But yeah, it's frankly the stuff that we have laid out in front of us is kind of where we need to go, or else it's going to feel very bleak. Like people don't like the Jeremy Grant trade because they're enamored with Rui, and I love Rui. Jeremy Grant is simply a better player than him, and like their discussion is he's going to be getting paid 30 mil and Rui's going to be at 18. Is he really $12 million better? I don't know if he's 12 million, but he's probably like $8 million better. I'm not going to let this theoretical contract value discourage that. Anyway, it's like that. It's Cam Johnson plus someone else to me, and these are not team changers. This is just supplementing the team with better fitting pieces, and that's the best we can hope for at this point.
Yeah, honestly, where I'm at, I just think I just want Clay to sign, whether it's us or no one else.
Mm-hmm.
Sign so we can figure out if LeBron's gonna take the pay cut. If not, you sign Clay, that's awesome. If he goes to the Mavericks, trades just officially just move to trades, focus on trades, get the team better, make a nice signing with the MLE. At this point, as a fan, I'm not expecting some huge we're a championship contender favorite. Just get the team better, like you're saying, like a Grant move, a Johnson move. It's a better fit. Hopefully, we have a better coach team, and just hope for because there's talent on the roster. So even if we get marginally better with a better staff, that'll go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I don't want to be down about this at all because there is a legitimately realistic version of the team where we're starting Reeves, Klay Thompson, Jeremy Grant, AD, and LeBron, and we're feeling unbelievable about the team going forward. But there's also a scenario where it's just the same team, and that's it. And I mean, I wouldn't be necessarily mad about that, but I sure as hell wouldn't be happy. So it's like it's a really wide spectrum. You asked me about any center targets or anybody you feel like we've missed out on or like we need to focus on. Is there anything after stuff shaking out that you're looking at?
No, I agree. I like the trade ideas of a wing, Grant, and blanking out. Sorry. Cam Johnson, love those
Hmm.
ideas. That's really where my focus is. I was kind of like Drummond or Valanciunas at center. No one else I'm interested because you don't want to spend money on a guy to play 15 minutes who's gonna be like, oh okay. Honestly, I mean, is there really a center on the market to pay 5 million that's gonna be that much better than Jackson Hayes? I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
So I think for wing you look to trades, and for centers you look to trades. I love Robert Williams in a backup role. He's a freak athlete, would be good on the glass, good rim protector. So yeah, honestly, free agency, it's just kind of Klay Thompson or bust. Once that happens, then I'll kind of shift my eyes towards that 5 mil MLE and see who can get there.
Yeah.
I do want Torian Prince back though for sure, and he hasn't signed anywhere.
Yeah. I think the pre as like a final kind of blanket statement, the precursor to Laker moves, in my opinion, even though they don't have to make it in this order, but if we see a Christian Wood and Cam Reddish are traded for whatever, like they trade a second round pick, I think that means the plan has been set. Whether or not it's a plan we like, I don't know, but they have to make that move at some point in this week. And I would imagine they'd want to do it before news leaks of them signing someone so they don't get extorted. Be like, oh, you have to trade this guy, or Klay Thompson literally cannot sign with you, so give me another second round pick. Because that would be really stupid to just wait. So I think like tomorrow morning, if we wake up on the West Coast and we see Jackson Hayes and one of the three minimum guys have been traded, I think that will show like, oh, today is the day something happens. And I'm hoping for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I wonder if we're gonna stop this 2 year player option thing because now we got three guys. We're gonna have to give up some seconds and stuff or trade for. We got
Yeah,
Reddish, Hayes, and Wood. I wonder like that's kind of a big deal to be honest. You got three guys you don't want because of those
yeah,
player options.
it is. And honestly, like Reddish is the only one I actively don't want.
Yeah,
Christian Wood, he is fine. Jackson Hayes is fine if he. I prefer him to stay. Honestly, if he's cool being the 14th man, like that's fine. But yeah, it is weird because a lot of Laker fans got mad at Pelinka because they thought, oh, only Pelinka does this. And then this year, almost every single deal, there's a player option. Even Kevin Porter Jr., the woman beater that the Clippers signed very quickly, actually. Oh yeah, I forgot he was the only minimum signing. They whatever. Um, he has a 2-year vetman with a player option deal. Every deal has player options now, so maybe that's a market inefficiency that GMs are trying to find, or I truly don't know what it would be. Even Max Christie's deal is a 3+1. It's not a full 4-year deal. So yeah, that's some kind of agent negotiating tactic. I mean, obviously players want player options because it gives them control. So maybe it's part of the whole thing. But yeah, last final thing, I didn't want to skip over too much. Max Christie, shout out to you. Good little contract. It's not an overpay because first of all, it's not a flat rate. It's not going to be 8,888. So the first year is actually going to be around 6.5 million and not 8 million. So it's even less of an overpay. But also, he is the eighth highest paid player on the team. So I don't know what people are complaining about. We just talked about it in our last video. If you don't have contracts to trade, you cannot trade anybody. If we have 3 high paid guys or 4 high paid guys and then minimums, we're not gonna be able to make deals. So Max Christie making $2 million more than you want is perfectly fine. And also he's gonna be an actual established full-time role player now, and I'm excited about that. Any last words before we get out of here, Matt?
no, yeah, I'm very excited about Christie. Let's hope not just the Lakers, the NBA as a whole, get some excitement and maybe a trade or two. A very underwhelming day, first day.
Yeah, Paul George is going to sign with the Sixers. He's going to pretend that he didn't know he was going to do this for the last 2 months, and I think things will start to roll from there. But when it does, we will be back for sure. For now, we'll say good night. Go Lakers.